Welcome back. In the last class, we have learned about Fleming's left hand rule. So, what is Fleming's left hand rule? Take your left hand, hold the middle finger, forefinger, and thumb perpendicular to each other. Now, if the forefinger represents the magnetic field and middle finger represents the current, then thumb represents the direction of force. That is the essence of Fleming's left hand rule. So if there is a magnetic field like this and the current is going upwards, then this is the direction of force. The force will be, say, if there is a wall here, the force will be into the paper. And if the magnetic field is like this and if the current is going down like this, so this is the current, then the direction of force is like this. So if there is a wall here, the direction of force is out of the wall or out of the paper. So that is the essence of Fleming's left hand rule. Today we will see how this Fleming's left hand rule is rotating a rectangular current carrying loop in a magnetic field. So we may start now. So today we will discuss a rectangular current loop in a magnetic field. So what will happen when a rectangular current loop is taken into a uniform magnetic field? So here you can see there is a uniform magnetic field present between this north and south poles. This is the rectangular coil through which a current I will be flowing. So when a current flow through this coil, there will be a magnetic field produced here which will interact with the external field, which is the B here, and as a result the interaction of these two fields will result a rotation of this coil. So this uniform magnetic field is produced by this north and south poles. Current I is flowing through this rectangular current loop. So this is how the current is flowing. Suppose that there is only a single turn of wire, but practically there will be large number of turns. But for simplicity, we are taking only a single turn of wire. And let P, Q, R and S be the four sides of the rectangular loop. Now we may mark the length and breadth of this loop. So this represents the length. So this arm represents PQ and RS arms will represent the length of the coil, and we may write it as L. Then this QR and PS represent the breadth of the coil, breadth of the rectangular coil. Now there will be a force acting on these different arms. So now we have four arms: arm PQ, arm QR, arm RS and arm PS. So each arm can be treated differently. So there is a current carrying length here I current is passing through a length L. So I current is passing through a wire of length L which is placed in a field B. So the force acting on this length will be F is equal to ILB sin theta. So there is a force acting on this arm PQ. Similarly here arm QR is there. So again, even though it is a breadth, it can be taken as a length of wire. So again a length of wire carries a current I which is in a field B. Again there is ILB sin theta. So this way we can treat different arms separately. So first we will take the arm PQ. So what will be the force on the arm PQ? So force on the arm PQ will be we know the equation F is equal to ILB sin theta, or it is F is equal to I into L cross B. So this is how the length L is present, and perpendicular to this the magnetic field is present. So the angle between L and B is 90. Since the angle theta is 90, we may put it as sin 90. So angle between L and B. So this is how the L is present, and B is perpendicular to the length. Therefore the angle is 90 degree, or the force will be what? F is equal to ILB sin 90, or PQ is equal to ILB, since the angle theta is equal to 90 degree. So the reason is angle theta is 90 degree between the length L and the field B. Now what about the direction? What is the direction of this force? The direction can be found using the Fleming's left hand rule. So now stretch your middle finger, forefinger and thumb perpendicular to each other, such that the forefinger is in the direction of B, and your middle finger is upward. The middle finger should be directed upward. Forefinger is in the direction of B. Then you can see that your thumb is pointing into the paper or into the screen, right? Your thumb is pointing into the screen or into the paper. So the direction of force, or the direction of the force ILB will be into the paper. So on the arm PQ, there is a force F is equal to ILB, which is directed into the paper. The force will be directing into the plane of the paper, or it will be into the screen in your case. Now similarly there will be a force on the arm QR, and for the arm QR we can see that, so this is the length of wire we are considering. So this length of wire and the B are parallel to each other. So the angle between the length of the wire and the B is 90 degree. Sorry, the angle between the length of the wire and B will be 0. So these are parallel, and sin 0 is 0. Therefore the force on the arm QR will be 0. The reason is the breadth B of the coil is parallel to the magnetic field B. Now similarly there will be a force on the arm RS. In this case also the length of the wire RS is perpendicular to the direction of the field B. Since theta is 9 degree, F is equal to ILB sin 90, which is 1. Now what is the direction of the force? To find the direction of the force, again stretch the middle finger, forefinger and thumb of the left hand, such that your forefinger is in the direction of the magnetic field and your middle finger is in the direction of current. That means your thumb should be, your middle finger should be directing downwards. So forefinger in the direction of magnetic field and the middle finger pointing downwards. Now you can see that the thumb of your left hand is directing outwards, or it is the thumb is directing out of the paper. So the direction of the force F is equal to ILB will be directing out of the paper. Now the last arm will be PS. So out of the paper will be the direction of the force ILB on the arm RS. Now the last arm is SP. Again, as in the case of QR, the direction of this arm or the length of the conductor and magnetic field are parallel, or they are make an angle 0 degree. therefore force is 0. Now that means there is no force on the arms QR and PS. There is force only on the arm PQ and RS, and the force will be equal. The forces on the two arms will be equal. Both are ILB. Here it is ILB, here also it is ILB. But the directions are opposite. On the arm PQ, the direction is into the paper. ILB is acting into the paper. And on the arm RS, it is acting out of the paper. So both are equal and opposite. Equal in the sense their magnitudes are equal. ILB are equal. Opposite in the sense their directions are opposite. So there are two forces acting on this coil which are equal and opposite. So this kind of equal and opposite forces acting at two different points of a body are called couple. So now we can see that by applying Fleming's left hand rule, we can see that there is a couple acting on the coil. Now because of this couple, this rectangular loop will rotate. Why? Because there is a push on the arm PQ and there is a pull on the arm RS. So because of this push on one side and pull on the other side, the coil will rotate. So rotate means, so there is a rotational effect of the force ILB. Now the rotating effect of the force is called torque, or simply we can say there is a torque acting on the rectangular loop. Now how to find the torque? We have already seen that, or already learned that torque is equal to force into perpendicular distance between line of action. So how to find this perpendicular distance between line of action? For that we want a top view of this rectangle coil. So this is the top view, that means this is a breadth. So we are watching this we are watching the rotation of this coil from above. So if we watch the rotation of the coil from above, it will be like this. So this is the breadth B, and on this coil there is a force acting F1. F1 should be acting into the paper, right? F1 is acting into the paper and F2 is actually acting out of the paper. And as a result the coil will rotate. So this is the line of action of the force F1 and this is the line of action of the force F2. Actually both the forces F1 and F2 will be equal. The magnitude of both F1 and F2 will be ILB. And because of this two forces, it will be rotating, and this is the perpendicular distance between the line of action. So line of action means this is the line of action of F1, this is the line of action of F2, and this line represents the perpendicular distance between F1 and F2. So this way we can mark the line of action of F2. Now the angle theta is made by this coil with the direction of the angle theta is made by the rectangular loop. Therefore sin theta is equal to OB by B. Therefore the perpendicular distance OB is equal to B sin theta. So also note that F1 is equal to F2, that is equal to F, and that F is equal to ILB. Magnitude will be equal. Now we may substitute B sin theta in the equation of torque. Therefore torque tau is equal to force is F into the perpendicular distance is OB. So F into OB, that is equal to, what is F? It is ILB. So ILB, where B is the magnetic field, into, in place of OB you can write B sin theta, where it is the small b that represent the breadth. Now you know there is a length here and breadth also present here. So this length into breadth will give area. Therefore F is torque is equal to I into A into B sin theta, where this A represent the area of the rectangular loop. Therefore I A B sin theta, which is of the form A B sin theta, or this can be written as what? A cross B. So torque tau is equal to I into A cross B. So torque tau is equal to I into A cross B. Now this product I into A has another name, which is called magnetic dipole moment. I into A represent magnetic dipole moment. The symbol is small m. Therefore this equation can be again rewritten as torque tau is equal to m cross B. So m cross B represent the torque tau. So now we have two set of equation. Torque tau is equal to m cross B and torque tau is equal to I into A cross B. Now we may define the magnetic moment or magnetic dipole moment. Magnetic moment is a measure of the tendency of a magnet to get aligned in a magnetic field. So actually this coil is acting as a magnet. So the measure of the tendency of this coil to get aligned in the magnetic field is the magnetic moment or magnetic dipole moment. Now if there are n turns, previously I told we have taken only a single turn. If there are n turns for this coil, then the magnetic moment will be n into Ia. So m will be n into Ia. Now take the case where the angle theta is equal to 90 degree. So if the angle theta is 90, then torque tau is equal to Ia cross B will become Iab because sin 90 is equal to 1, and that is the case of maximum torque, or torque is maximum when angle theta is equal to 90 degree. So torque is maximum when area is perpendicular to the magnetic field. So here area means it is the area vector, not the physical area, but the area we are referring is the area vector. The direction of area vector is perpendicular to the plane of the paper. So A cross B is 90 means the angle between A and B is 90. What is A? A is the area vector. So the direction between the area vector and that of the magnetic field should be 90 degree. So area does not mean it is the physical area, it is the area vector that we are referring. So if the angle between area vector and magnetic field is 90, then torque is maximum. So what is the meaning of area vector, or what is the direction of area vector? So this is how the area vector is represented. So this is the area vector. Okay. So this direction, that it means the direction of this area vector and B should be perpendicular. That is the meaning. So area vector is perpendicular to the plane of the paper means the plane of the area will be parallel to the magnetic field B. Now if theta is 0, then torque tau is equal to Iab sin 0, which is 0. So if torque tau is 0, that means there is no, if angle theta is 0, if angle theta is 0, then torque is 0. So for theta 90, torque is maximum. For theta 0, torque is 0. So again this means what? Physically the plane of the coil is perpendicular to B. So in this case the angle between area vector and magnetic field will be parallel. So the area vector, the direction of area vector and direction of magnetic field will be parallel if the plane of this coil is perpendicular to magnetic field. Okay, so suppose it is perpendicular to the direction of the field, if this arrow should be parallel to the direction of B. That happens when it is perpendicular to the direction of B. Similarly, theta 90 means physically the plane of the coil is parallel to B. So like this. So in this case, the plane of the coil is parallel to magnetic field, but the direction of this area vector will be out of the paper. The direction of area vector will be perpendicular to the plane of the paper. So if it is perpendicular to the plane of the paper, then the angle between that area vector and B will be 90. That is the meaning of theta is equal to 90. So that's all for today. Thank you for watching.